Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
So today, the agenda for discussion is data science. How data science is being used in today's world, and what are the benefits that we get once we are done with data science, and what actually data science mean. When we say data science, what does it actually means? Because there is a big confusion when we say data science. Or what is actually data science? Is data science any tool or what? So before I start, and we will just see that how data science is helpful in the progress of your career, and we'll also understand that how you can proceed step by step if you have done a particular course, or if you are having a certification of particular thing. So what is the job profile that you get? What could be the package that you get if you are having these skills? So we'll see all these things later on. So to begin with, what actually data science is, and before I answer this, I would like you to answer. So those whatever you understand from your point of view, you can just keep your point of view. What actually data science is? What do you understand from this data science concept? So anyone can start and try to answer. If you can think, you want to think, you can think for a while, and just you can start just giving answer. Anyone can start giving answer, whatever be your understanding. What is data science?
Use of structured and unstructured data.
Okay. Any others? What do you understand by this data science term? You can answer in your layman language. It's not necessary to be technical, because it's not actually technical. Everything is completely practical. So that way you can answer like practically what do you understand from this data science concept.
Data science is the branch of computer science which extracts the insights or hidden patterns from the data, and this insight or which this information or these hidden insights used for the further decision making for in future. It's called as data science.
Okay. Anyone else like to answer? Okay. So let me tell you that when we talk about data science, so first of all, data science is let me just come here directly. So data science in layman language, if you want to understand, it's like cooking. How? So first of all, you just consider your data as ingredients. Algorithms tells us how to cook, means algorithms are the method that we apply on those data. Your computer cooks it. Like if we are understanding in terms of cooking, so computer is the person that cooks it, means the computer is the thing that will create that particular algorithm or model, and the dish that is cooked is your solution. So what we are doing, we are giving some input, the computer is used for processing that and giving the output. So this process, the whole process is called as your data science. So when someone says like data science is we use Python, we use SAS, we use R programming. So your data science is not about any tools and technology. So technically, if you want to answer, data science is not about any tools or technologies. Here we use the knowledge, tools, other techniques to extract the insights. What is the meaning of insights? What do you understand by insights? So insights means the detailed of your data. If I am working on a musical industry, so I need only musical data. If I am going to perform some process on the retail sector, so retail data should be there. If I'm going to take some decision from a stock market, so your data should be from stocks. It cannot be from anything anywhere else. And why we do that? Because we have to take decision for that industry or that particular part. And that taking decision helps in profit making. So the main objective is to use tools, technologies, the way of thinking, so that we can extract valuable insights. Why we are doing this? So that we can take better decision. Better decision in the sense profit should be there. So every company use different methods, different algorithms, everything, so that they can take a better decision in future. Let's say companies, the retailer store is there, and they know that in the coming festive season there will be more sales, and this they identified by from their past performance. They use those data, they created an algorithm, and the algorithm says that in future demand can be more. So what they did, they use the data, the extract the data of the users who had made purchase last time, 2-3 years last back. So they use those data and created model, and that model is saying that in future the demand can be more. So the company is stocking those products which can be sold more, or the demand of those products can be more. Why? So that they can make profit out of that. Means that will leads to a business strategy. So that is data science. It's about concept, process, and in that process, in that concept, the tool that can be used completely depends on the organization. It can be Python, it can be R programming, it can be your advanced Excel also if data are small in number. It can be SAS, SAS can also be there. So it completely depends on the type of industry. If it's something sensitive data are there, so SAS is more preferable. If only analysis part is there, so Python, R programming can also be used. So if accuracy matters, so SAS is much better in case of accuracy, but Python and R also gives you accuracy. Again, if it is related to some research kind of thing, so R programming is more better. And when it comes to put on production, after creating model and all, if we want to put on production, so in that case, Python is more preferable. That's why Python is preferred over R programming, because this is the mostly used programming language for analysis purpose in different industries. So because it's easier to put on production after doing the analysis and all. Anyone having any question in this? What is data science? Any question, anyone?
Excuse me, sir. Actually, as a data scientist, okay. Presently, we are actually learning SQL also. So how much, what kind of means, actually how much, what is the extent of SQL the data scientist should know or should practice, because actually for the SQL in IT or non-IT, actually data science is used, data scientist is used in IT industry also, as well as in non-IT industry also. Is it?
Okay.
Actually, but the SQL developer is different and data scientist is different. So actually, what extent of SQL is needed for a data scientist, or is it better, or is it less than, or as that SQL, as that of that SQL developer? What kind of extent, what kind of extent of knowledge is needed, required for the data scientist?
Yeah, I will come to that also, but let me tell you, for a data scientist, so for data scientist, it's not like that. If you have learned Python, you have learned R programming, and you become a data scientist. For data scientist, there are many roles. You should have knowledge of visualization. You should have knowledge of importing data from different sources. For cleaning of data, you should know. You should know processing of data, pre-processing of data. Pre-processing is your cleaning. So processing of data, you should know. You should be able to create models. That is, those who only knows creating models for doing the analysis, they are called as machine learning engineer. But as a data scientist, you should have knowledge of this also. And finally, you should be able to put it into production. You should have knowledge of this also. Means for all these tasks, there are different users, but as a data scientist, you should have knowledge of all these. And the tools can be any. Suppose if you are working in Python, so you should have knowledge of R also. If someone is doing using R, so you at least you can understand, okay, what they have done using R. It's not like that you are fixed to a particular tool. Let's say for visualization, Power BI is used, so you should have idea of Tableau also. Little bit idea should be there, but though you are master in a particular tools or technology, but you should have knowledge of each domain little bit.
Yes.
So that you can understand and you can tell them that this could be the problem over here, because as a data scientist, your profile is at the top. So there is nothing like that. If you learn these things and you become data scientist, so data scientist profile will be will come. It's like like in a government job, if some senior post is there, so it's like you can understand like that. So the more you learn, the more you get experience, so the more better profile will become as a data scientist.
Yes, sir.
It's not like you can start your career with data scientist, but after few experience, 4 or 5 years also, you can become a data scientist with experience in different tools and technologies. So that is, and for as a SQL, so SQL is also a database. So you should have idea of how we fetch data from there, how we can retrieve data, how we can create data using SQL. This much knowledge should be there, because data are coming from various sources, and if you don't know how these people are bringing data from a database, SQL or Oracle or SQL Server. So these are few basic things for a data scientist, that okay, these codes are being used for fetching data from these sources. So as a SQL, you should be aware of the queries. So I'm not saying that you should be aware of PL/SQL also, where programming part is there. So that is the main job of your SQL administrator or SQL developer.
This is what.
So, you don't need to master all those SQLs and PL/SQL, but you should be able to work on the tables which are there in your database. That is queries you should be aware of.
Yes.
And that is what we do here in data science. So SQL queries, we should learn that what are these and why we are creating these tables. We should know all these things.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Anyone having any question? Okay, so let me proceed further. Now, why data science? Why there is a requirement of data science? So let's take an example. There is a person called Ellen. He was going to his village and in between he found a river, and he saw that there is a river, so he thought that he could not cross the river, so he was about to go back to his home. He was just about to return, but all of a sudden he saw a board, and the board was saying that the average depth is 3 feet. So Alan thought that my height is 5.5. I can easily cross the river. But he could never cross the river. What could be the reason? He could never cross the river, and he was drowned. What could be the reason? Why Alan was drowned and he could not cross the river?
He relied on the traditional statistics. So actually, this traditional statistics may give some different results. So we should not rely on the traditional statistics.
Okay. Anyone else? Why did Alan?
They didn't estimate at the point of place, the depth of the river. You could not able to estimate the point of the depth at a single point, like 7 feet.
Right. Means he simply saw this average depth 3 feet, and this average depth was calculated normally, simply by adding all the depth and divided by the total number of elements. And it is possible that at some location the depth can be more, depth can be less, like that. So on an average we are getting average depth 3 feet. So what was ignored while calculating this average depth? What was ignored in this case? Let me tell you. That is called as your
He was ignored at like 7 feet at a single point location.
So what is that? What actually is that?
Is that standard deviation?
Yes, that is your standard deviation. Standard deviation is ignored by the person who put this board, or also not taken care by LN. So standard deviation is the thing, means it's a parameter that was ignored over here. Now what is this standard deviation? Standard deviation is the deviation from the mean. Suppose this 3 feet is mean. So if a standard deviation would have been given, so in that case there won't be any problem. Suppose if a standard deviation is given, and it is given, let's say 3.5. so it means your mean, that is 3 feet, can deviate 3.5 above or below. Correct. So it can be 6.5 feet also. If a standard deviation is given, it means that a standard deviation is deviation from your mean. That's why it's written over here. We should be aware of the traditional statistics, simply calculating mean by adding all and divided by the number of elements. So that will not help in taking the correct decision. So standard deviation was ignored over here. So what? Let me clear this. So the concept of a standard deviation, if anyone is not aware of, or you are not getting what actually standard deviation is, so I will make you understand. If you are not getting it, I can take an example if you wish. Okay, so standard deviation is that deviation from the mean, so that we should take care of. And lesser the standard deviation, more consistent your data are. So standard deviation should be less, then only our data are proper. If standard deviation is more, your data can deviate more. So that we should take care. This was not taken care by LM. Now, to master data science, what are the things that we should have knowledge of? First thing, computer science. We should have basic knowledge of computer science. Statistics. We should know the statistics that we have studied in class 11, 12th, or in if you have studied in your masters. Statistics knowledge should be there, because theoretically we do everything, but practically this came into effect once the number of data has increased. Statistics is there from beginning, but this analytics part was not there because of the number of data were less. And once data have increased, your statistics gained popularity, and this is the base behind your analytics. So statistics knowledge should be there. Basic knowledge of mathematics, machine learning algorithm, we should know, because all these things will come under this. And if you are working in a particular domain, it can be retail, it can be telecom, any. It can be your pharma industry, any industry. So that knowledge should be there with you. So to master data science, these are the things that you should be aware of. You should have basic idea of these things. Now, let's say if you want to understand data science, I have taken one example. Let me clear this first. So here I am taking an example. So there is a person, and he always goes to his office, and whenever he go to his office, there are always two paths. So I'm just taking an example where you'll understand that on regular basis we use the concept of decision making using this data science concept. By either we know or we don't know, but we are using that concept at the back of our mind. So one day he found that on a track that is shortest, there is a traffic. More traffic is there. And on the long route, two routes are there, route 1 and route 2. And on the long route, there is no traffic. So the fastest route generally this person takes to reach his office. But, and here it is given, on route A, distance is 1400 meter, means 14 kilometer. On route B, it's 20 kilometer. Speed is this. So these are things that is provided, and in fact these are the things that have been collected. So first method in a data science is identify the problem. So we have to find the fastest route that will take us to the office. This person is thinking about it. So what he thought, first of all, he identified these things. He has not written any note on any notebook or anywhere else, but at the back of his mind he did all calculations that on route A 14 kilometer is the distance, route B 20 kilometer, this is the speed. Humidity, this traffic is given on route A dense, and on route B the traffic is mild. This is given. This is not given. Who found this? The person found it. And because he is going through those paths every day, so he knows that how long that traffic could be. So the data he has collected, next job is to process it. So data processing will be done by him, means while collecting data, he will also collect the different car, number of cars, color of cars, and number of people are going on that road. So he has nothing to do with the color of the car and something like that, which are of no use. So he will have to ignore the unnecessary records. Okay, that is data processing. And once those unnecessary records have been removed, now he found, let me move here, he found that the time that he will get on route A is 1 hour 20 minutes and on route B 2 hours. But there is a traffic delay. So on route A 55-minute extra it will take, and on route B 0 minute extra. So on an average on route A 2 hours 15 minutes it will take, and on route B 2 hours. So these calculations we have not done on any system or anywhere. The person did at the back of his mind because he is seeing the same thing every day while going to his office. Similarly, if data are provided with us from the past, historical data, so we can predict the future. So the same thing this person is doing, and he will take route B so that he can reach the office fastest. Though that is a long route, but that will save at least 15 minutes. Right. So this is the step that we generally follow in a data science. Means in fact, while taking any decision, and that decision making process is your data science. Okay. And finally, the solution has been achieved. So the data science process life cycle, let's understand from this one. So the first step in a data science is your data collection. And this can be from different sources like cloud, it can be log files. In case of bank data, bank logs can be there. It can be database file, it can be social media file, NAS, MFT servers, CSV files, Excel files, any file can be there. Tools, you can use either. I have mentioned Flume and Scope, but you can use Python, you can use R, you can use Sas, whichever tool you are using, you can use that for data collection. And whichever the steps I am showing you, there is a specific group or a specific person is there for these particular work. So data collection is done by a group of or a set of people. That is their job. And this is the first step for a data science, data collection. Now, what could be the next step after collection of data? Anyone tell me?
Data validation.
Data framing, like dividing based on similar conditions, similar data.
Similar
Grouping.
data together.
Mm.
And if your data are not clean after collection, you found that your data are not proper. How will you identify if your data are proper or not?
Data cleansing.
No, so why we are cleaning data? Because data are not clean. So first of all, we have to check if your data are clean or not, right?
Yes.
So after collection of data, we visualize our data. Second step is data visualization. And that visualization is done using different charts and graphs. So generally, a scatter plot is there, box plot is there. That tells you if your data are normally distributed, uniformly distributed or not. So that we'll see under matplotlib and libraries under Python. So that we'll see separately in matplotlib. Data visualization is done. And once your graph comes out to be, and let me tell you, for a scatter plot is something like this. If your data are in a straight line, even if it's multiple, like if it is going in a straight line, it means your data are in a proper order, either like this, in this line, in this format. But if your data are something like this, means there is no pattern, there is no format of data, how data are. So this is your unorganized data, unstructured data. If you are getting graph like this, so you need to clean this data. So the third step is cleaning of data. Third step is cleaning of data. So here data visualization, we draw graphs, charts, and visualize it. Tools you can use are Sas, Python, it can be Tableau, it can be Power BI. Depends on company to company, which tool they are using for visualization. Again, visualization is also a separate thing for which there are different people. Like if a company is using Power BI, so the person, anybody, any question? Okay, so the person who is responsible for data visualization, and if Power BI is used, so that person will be called as Power BI expert, or Tableau expert, or visualization expert. So there will be a separate profile who is working on data visualization. Third step is data cleaning. And under data cleaning, what could be the problem? Missing values can be there, extra spaces can be there, duplicate records, spelling checks, and your data are not standard, not uniform. All these things can be there. So we need to clean it. We need to remove those extra space. We need to read data in proper format. We need to read data from the selected columns. That is after cleaning. What could be the next step after cleaning? What could be the next step after cleaning of data? We have cleaned our data, then what will we do? We will again visualize our data, so that we can see that if our data are clean or not. So visualization and cleaning goes hand in hand, and this job of data scientist, or you can say 70 to 80% job of a data scientist goes in visualization and cleaning. Because once your data are ready, then only you can apply the different methods and algorithms. So first thing is clean your data, bring your data, then we can do anything. And data cleaning can be done again with the tools that you are using. It can be Python, Spark, R, Hive, Peak, these are under big data. So all those things can be used for data cleaning. Once we have cleaned our data, now we can move for processing the data. Processing means what we want from that data. You want to aggregate your data, you want to transpose it, you want to apply any condition on that, what you want. So that is called as data processing. Data cleaning is also called as data pre-processing. This step, the data cleaning step, is also called as pre-processing. And just after this, we have data processing. And once data has been processed, we can create models. Means we can create the algorithms. And how we create algorithms? We divide our data in two parts: training and test. We train the training data and then test our model on the test data. That in future, if you want, what could be the accuracy of this model? And after the model has been created, we put it into production. And this machine learning models can be used for creating models, and the tools that can be used are R, SAS, and Python. So, in short, you can understand for analysis, for analytical parts, doing any analysis kind of thing, forecasting, prediction, predictive analytics, these tools are mostly used: R, SAS, and Python. Correct. Now, if let's say, let me clear this. Now, the person who knows these three steps: data collection, data cleaning, and data processing, he is called as big data developer or a big data engineer. The person who knows data visualization, called as junior data scientist, or as I told you, it can be Power BI expert, Tableau expert, it can be either. And the one who knows the machine learning models, creating models and then applying the algorithms, that person is called as machine learning engineer. And the one having knowledge of all these things is called as a data scientist. So as a data scientist, you should have knowledge of all these things. And in a small organization, you might be getting option to work on all these parts so that you can learn. Okay. So we are not coming to discussing this one. Okay. I'm just taking an example. Like again here, this is an example of you can say YouTube or Netflix, whichever you want, you can understand it from. I have taken like from where these Netflix or YouTube get the source of data sources using which they create their models. How they understand that this is the video that we are going to like. How they understand that last time we had left a particular web series or show at particular location. So in Hotstar or in any other OTT platform, you will find an option of continue watching. Again, the suggestion also comes based on the history that the last time you had searched. So similar kind of videos or anything comes for you, and you can watch that kind of videos for you. So how these things are coming? So what YouTube or Netflix does, they get the videos that we watch, they get the history, they see the time at which particular time we have watched that video, which rating videos we are watching, from which location we are browsing it. All these minute details are noted by either your Netflix or be it your YouTube, and they collect all these informations over a period of time. And this makes them predicting that, okay, you might like this kind of video, you might like this kind of web series. That's why you find that series or any web series are always popular. They are not flop. Because these are not created first, these are based on user response, that if they will like it or not, then that web pages are created. So let's say the accuracy that they are getting 80% means 80% response they will get if they are going to create that kind of web page. So that help only our data that we are watching, we are going through websites and all. So all these things are helping these websites, these OTT platforms to get their data, and they're using these data to create different shows and all these are super hit. And this is because of the different algorithms that are being used. So here, in case of Netflix, you'll find personalized video ranker is used. That's why if you are using Netflix, some other person is using Netflix, so they will see different things coming in their Netflix. Trending now video will be displayed, and you must have seen this. Continue watching option, as I told you, similarity algorithm is used that helps that whenever we watch a movie or anything, so similar kind of videos comes before us. So that is because of similarity. So multiple algorithms are used within that. Right. So this way, the means you can understand like the concept of data science is very vast, and multiple algorithms can be used together to create an OTT platform like Netflix or YouTube or just anything like that. Okay. Okay, we are not going to discuss that. Now, the tools which are used for data science are Sas. So it's a license version. Sas is name of company also based out in North Carolina, statistical analysis system. Next is your, and this was mostly started with your pharma industry and clinical industry. Later on, we are able to use it in all industries where sensitive data are there and where accuracy matters. Next is your SPSS, that is from IBM. So this is provided by IBM. This is a little costly. That's why companies, most of the companies will find the SPSS is not used, but it's very easy to use once we are going to do any algorithm or any method we are going to use. So if you use SPSS, it is very easy. And this is freely available for 15 days. You can create, register yourself, and you can use it. Python, it's a freeware. You can download it. Anyone can download, install, and you can create anything from it. There is no problem with that because it's a freeware. It's available free of cost. Same as R programming. R programming is also available free of cost. You can download it, use it, whichever way you can make money from it. There is no problem. Hadoop is used with Tableau because the visualization thing is not there in Hadoop. So the peak, high, flume, all these things comes under your Hadoop, and this is your part of big data. And this Hadoop part is done mostly by those who are working or who have any idea of Java. Right. So Hadoop is your big data developer. The profile comes with big data developer. Power BI. Again, Power BI is a visualization tool that we use, and Tableau is used with Hadoop, but Power BI you can use in other than where the Hadoop is not there. Power BI, or you can click view is there, so click view can also be used. Okay, now let me tell you, I'm just coming to the different organizations part, like what are the different options related to that. But before that, let's understand the benefits that we get with IIBM. So those who are attending class at IIBM or those who will join, There will be a daily live class from Monday to Friday, and that is for 2 hours. There is a LMS portal over there, and you are having lifetime access for the recorded classes. Means the class that will go live, you can also access the videos of that over there. Together with that, whatever that is done in the class, so the files related to that, means if it's a Python, so Python codes, the Excel files, the CSV files, the PPTs, all you will get over there under LMS portal. At the end of a particular topic, let's say we are doing Power BI. So at the end of Power BI, there will be projects depending on the type we can do, the time and number of projects. It can be 1, 2, 3. It depends on the module that you are enrolled in. So IIBM is accredited with, this is EHEA, QHE. So this IMA is your management that provides this. So this is these are the according, means if an institute is affiliated with these things, these names, means there is a quality in this. So it's accredited by all these things. So for job assistance, 100% job assistance is there over here. And in case of fee, if you compare the number of certificates or the topics that we are going to cover over here in the given fee, so this is the lowest fee compared to anywhere you will find it. And the certificate, you will get 3 certificate over here: master programming data science certificate, internship certificate, and one more certificate is there. It is missing. So 3 certificates you are going to get once you join over here and you attend the classes over there. Okay, this is just for your reference, so that you get an idea what will be provided in case you are a part of IIBM. Okay, till this, anyone having any question? Anybody, any question? Okay, let me just move to this part. Okay, so as we were discussing, like the tools that are important or that we use over here, let me maximize this. So there are many tools for data warehousing, reporting kind of thing, Cognos, Tableau. These tools are used. Other tools are also there, but I have mentioned these things, so it's visual over here. ETL, extract, transform, and load. So specific tools, data stage, Informatica. Statistical tools are your SPSS, Python, Sas, R. All these are your statistical tools that we use. Now let's understand basic of what is Sas, what are the tools these tools are. So Sas is a combination of both data warehousing, or you can say database, as well as statistical package. Reason is because Sas can also store huge number of data. That's why I'm calling it as a database, like SQL, Oracle. Sas can also store huge number of records. Number second, apart from that, Sas main feature is for doing the analysis that is not possible in any database. Right. Now, so statistical analysis system, SAS stands for, started in North Carolina University and started with an agriculture purpose. But as demand came for it, so a SAS institute was started in 1966. Right. And then institute developed SAS tool. So the name of tool you will find SAS, also the name of company of SAS. And mainly this is used for advanced analytics, BI, predictive analytics. For all these things we use SAS. But again, this is licensed version. So you will find SAS at most of the big companies, small companies you will find, hardly you will find SAS is being used. So in international banks like Bank of America, Royal Bank of Scotland, then EXL services, WNS, Fractal Analytics, all these companies are using. Apart from that, telecom companies, Jio, Airtel, all these organizations are also using. And in clinical industry and pharma industry, it's compulsory to use SAS because of its accuracy. Because in clinical and pharma industry, accuracy matters. It's not like if accuracy is coming 90% and in actual if it goes, it is something else. It should not be like that over there. So SAS is preferred over there, and as per FDA, Food and Drug Association, SAS should be used for doing analysis in clinical industry as well as in pharma industry. Okay. Close it. What is R programming? So as I told you, R is an open source programming language, and the name came because the founder and the person who developed R, their first name starts with R. Ross Ikaha and Robert Gentleman. So R is the name taken from the first letter of both the person who developed it. So again, R is also used for data analysis, creating algorithms, doing visualization. So for visualization, there is a ggplot package is there in R programming that is used for doing visualization. Again, R is made up of collection of libraries that helps in data science, similar to a Python. In Python also, we are having multiple libraries that makes it different from any other programming language. So the Python is available since long, but with increased demand in analytics, the Python became more popular. And that is because of the libraries which are there inside Python. So this is also open source, and it can be used for multiple purposes: normal programming, doing analysis, putting it into production. So multiple things can be used. If you want to create any web-based projects, so Python Django is there. So that is a framework for Python. So multiple usage of Python is there. Now, why Python is considered in most of the organization? So the reason is, this is the official language of Google. Google also uses Python as a base language. And this is top in demand data science skills because it's easier to create models using Python, and it's easy to write the code in that. So even the person who is not from technical background, they can also easily learn this. Third is 46% of job ads mention Python after SQL. So this slide is a little from before. So this 46% might have crossed 50% also. So SQL is in demand because this is used by most of the industry, because it's a database that is compulsory, or you can say this is necessity of every organization to use any database. It can be SQL, MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server. In case of SAP, it is SAP HANA. These are different databases. So SQL is used in almost 95% of the industry. So many jobs are there in SQL, but as a database administrator or database developer. Python is ranked #1 of all the programming language. Then this is the second most popular data science language, right? Key features and functionality. So it helps a programmer to, as I told, shown over there, ETL means extract, transform, and load. We can extract data, change it, clean it, load it. And then we can clean our data, do the data analysis for better decisions, and we can generate report. And this generate report, we can create report in case of R and Python, no specific report we are going to create. But if it's SAS, you can create report in PDF, HTML, CSV, RTF. RTF is your Word format. XLS, Excel format. And it also processes unlimited rows and columns, and it can interact with multiple database and operating systems. You can work on MacBook, you can work on Linux. So depending on the operating system, you can work over there with Python. That's why it makes it more flexible when it comes to use of programming language. Now, what are the role of the different analytical tools in the industry? So all these tools, either it is SAS or R or Python, can be used in health and pharma industry for doing analysis, forecasting, reporting, clinical research, in finance. So first of all, keep it in mind that these tools are not specific to any domain. Wherever there are data, these tools can be used. But if you talk about SAS, so in healthcare and pharmacy, SAS is mostly used. But it's not specific to a sector or a domain. You can use it in retail sector, telecom sector, IT sector, banking sector. These tools can be used in any sector, any domain. So for retail sector, it can be used for analysis, forecasting the demand, what could be the demand of the product, accordingly the data or accordingly the stocks can be kept. Telecom, the details of customers, which customers require what type of plan. So accordingly, we will identify their needs and the plan is prepared accordingly so that we can retain the customer. Banking, for doing the predictive analysis, optimization. So all these sectors can be a part of your analytics, because analytics has become very popular these days. So in all the industry, these are used. And these are used in almost all the industries, as I mentioned over here: sales, consulting, research, development. It can be marketing, it can be support, finance, HR, IT, anywhere. And their presence is in almost all countries. 95% of Fortune Global 500 companies are using. Top 100 global banks are using these tools. And so as per moneyandpayscale.com, share of 36%, 36.2% in analytics. So this is 36.2% is not for all. So if you combine all these things, you will find more than 70%. And this is the largest in the world. All these is combined together, you will find the share of all these is the largest in the world. Most valuable analytical tools, these are R, SAS, and Python. Now, if we want to reach to the right place, so obviously we need right technology or right knowledge for that. Like a graph has been plotted, learning curve rating and data science for business capability rating. So you can see like Excel is at the top, because though Excel is many people are learning. And why many people are learning? Because the requirement of Excel is always there. In all small and big company, you'll find Excel. Though small data can be used on that, but that can give an idea how companies are working. So Excel you'll find everywhere. So all these tools are used. Just it's a given that how people are learning and how is the demand over there. That's science for business. The most important is this: the companies using SAS, R, and Python. Many companies are there. So if you'll search, you'll find these companies, and on a regular basis, few companies are there whose interviews is going on. So you can find for analytics, even if you are having 1 year experience, you will find multiple opportunities. Even if you are not having any experience, so after doing course, I think you will get master's degree from here. Master's degree, master's certification you will get from here. So that will add an advantage, and together with Python, SQL, and one of the visualization tool, you can easily get a job. So you are having you will be having knowledge of many other things also, but at least with these 3 things you will get a job. Means you will get an interview and you can crack it and you can get into an organization. So different companies are using, and many other companies are also there. So I could not just mention over here, so I have not mentioned. But in almost all the organizations, you will find these tools. Might not be all tools together, but either of the tool, either the visualization tool, you will find. Like if you talk about media, so you'll find Power BI or Tableau is mostly used, because they need to display each and everything from graphs. So these things are used in media organization. Your growth path will be something like this: business analyst, SAS analyst, data analyst, or SAS programmer, SAS developer, warehouse analyst, predictive analyst, the data scientist. Profile name can be different, but your work will be like that I had told you. And data scientist profile will be the same, but other profile name can be changed. But changing name will not matter anything. The important thing is the profile, that what is there, what you have to do. Now, if you check the salary in lakhs per annum, so the experience level, as I told you, if you are having at least 1 year experience, 1, 2, so you'll get multiple opportunities in analytics, and you can easily get into an organization. And if you are a fresher, so might be you will get little less, but options are there even if you are a fresher. The salary has risen like this. In 5 years, there is a huge change. And the package of 30, 40 with experience of 7 and 8 years is normal, if you are having experience in these tools and technologies. So with an experience of 6 or 7 also, if you had made switch, let's say you have made 2 switch and third organization, so you can easily get somewhere around 6, you will take somewhere around 6 to 7 years to reach to a package of around 25, 30, like that. At least 20 you can easily get with experience of 6 years, 20, 25. So, but you should have knowledge of these tools, because these tools are required these days and most of the companies are using, because as soon as the data will increase, the tools will be used, required to be used. Okay. So anybody, any question? Anyone having any question you can ask?